throw Tony some suggestions on what he can do in retirement in the comments below, and we'll share those with him, just in case you run out of things.
Yeah, good. Tony's good.
More importantly, we'll share them with your wife.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hey, welcome to Carpooling with Ben. Folks, it's an organization that's been around for decades. The United Way. The executive director has been there for a number of years, and he's getting ready to retire. The joke going around the office is this could be his last such and such meeting. We're aiming not to make this his last ride, but it is his first ride in Carpooling with Ben. Tony Maione, thanks so much for joining me in the car today. And how long have you been at the United Way?
15 years.
Okay, all right. So that's a good run. You saw it through some of the best of times and the worst of times.
Yeah, we certainly had some challenging times, both from the perspective of raising money, but perhaps even more importantly from the perspective of the community in 2008 and 9.
Sure, when they needed it.
Yeah, when people needed our help.
Probably put a lot of stress on your systems and everything. And for people who don't know, they hear the United Way, they see the classic logo that has the hand kind of out. What is the United Way and what do they do? Kind of just the summary.
Sure. Well, United Way is a nonprofit organization, first and foremost. And really there are probably three very important things in the big picture that we do.
Okay.
One is that we provide 211 to the community. That is, you just dial 211 on your phone.
Yep.
And you get connected to any health and human service service that you might need. It's really important because the human service system can be pretty chopped up and
Sure.
can be difficult to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And so we take about 200,000 calls annually to
Really?
the 211 line.
Wow.
It's for anyone, 365 days a year, 24/7 free. So you just dial 211 if you have a human service need.
It's important to note that this is not for medical emergencies. 911 is still important to dial.
Yeah, do not call us if it's a 911
Sure, but
call.
if for some reason you're needing heating assistance or assistance with SNAP benefits or whatever.
Whatever it is, it's not just for low-income people. For example, as you said, I'm retiring, so I'm going to talk to my folks about signing up for Medicare.
Okay.
Because it's a complicated process and we do it all day long. And so
Wow.
I'm going to get some advice. If you think you might have a need, you should just dial 211 and we'll see if we can help you. And if we can't, we'll let you know and we'll try to steer you in the right direction.
A lot of people may be, just apprehensive sometimes too, as far as doing their own Google search or finding their own information. You guys have the verified information.
Well, we don't have a dog in the fight. So if you Google something, you might get sponsored ads, you might get, different companies promoting their own service.
Sure.
Our only interest is in the person who calls us. Mm-hmm. And so we will help them to sort through the options, but ultimately we're not selling anything, it'll be their decision.
I understand.
So that's probably, another good part of it. 175 languages in real time. So we can,
Wow.
we have a language line, but we have very deep Spanish on the staff. We have a number of Spanish speakers.
That must be a really long menu to listen to. For Argentinian, press 14.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do that.
For Armenian, press 15. I mean, if you speak Yugoslavian, you're going to wait a while to get back to the...
We actually had a caller who called who was speaking Chinese.
Really?
And we used the language line, and the person on the other end of the phone said, "This is Mandarin. I speak Cantonese. I have to switch you."
Oh, wow.
And so we switched over, and we still got the call done within dialects inside of the Chinese language. So it can really be, and those are pretty rare. Most of the time we're probably speaking in Spanish or Portuguese and occasionally a Southeast Asian language.
Sure.
But we can absolutely speak in anything that is the caller needs.
We've spent a great deal of time talking about this, but this is really, again, the 211. It's really just a small facet of what you guys do and offer and provide. What are some of the other services and outreach that you guys offer? Yeah,
so the second thing, which is obviously very important, is we need to raise money to do the things we do. So we raise about $12.8 million annually.
Send those checks right in.
And I think the things that we would want people to know about that is our overhead is paid for by a trust.
Yeah, when Michael Serio sent me the information on this, that was something I never realized. Right. There's no overhead costs.
No overhead costs to the donor. We think our overhead is pretty frugal as it is, but Nonetheless, it's all paid for out of a trust. So if you give us $1, that whole dollar goes to work in the community. We're not siphoning any of it off for ourselves, which I think is very appealing to people today.
100% of your donation goes directly to the people who need it.
Directly to the people.
And to the services. That's
and
great.
so, you know, you could give it to the United Way. I'll talk about that in a second.
Sure.
Or you could give it to any 501c3 in the country, and we'll make sure that it gets there.
Wow.
So it's really, you know, a great way to be philanthropically involved.
Okay.
We've added to that a volunteer program, which is growing exponentially. It's like doubling every other year.
Yeah.
To give people the opportunity to get out in the community, do some good work, give their time, because more and more companies and more people are wanting to do that, especially, you know, the millennial generation. I have 2 millennials. They're not in my house anymore, but
wow, congratulations.
Well, one kind of is. He's leaving soon. You know, we trained those young people to volunteer when they were kids in school, and they still want to do it.
That's
and
a great thing to do.
we're supporting that, and that's a great way to be involved. And then the third thing is, with the money that you give to United Way, we try to find a problem that we think we can solve. And then we will give grants based around a certain model of solving that problem.
Interesting.
And then we'll keep the data, because at the end of the day, public policy makers, largely government sources, have a lot more money than we do.
Sure.
And so we'll take our data from the programs that we do, if they're working, and we'll go to the State House usually, but sometimes to municipalities, and we'll say, look, this is the program, this is working. You should think about adapting your policy to do this and spend your money better. It's not always about spending more money. It can just be about a more effective model.
Sure. So you guys really work on dialing in the best uses.
Yes.
Using the research that just happens from all those calls, from all those different points of information that's coming in. It's really a massive data collection point to just better the lives of the people who need it most.
Right. We say we fund results, and so we're trying to see what's working, what are the best models out there, what's best practice, and then using that data to really, when people say to me, why should I give any money to the United Way? I say, well, it depends on how you feel about scale, because I can show you great programs where we're driving by them.
Sure.
And they serve 50 kids, and there's 5,000 kids that need to get that.
Yeah.
Or they serve 100 families, and there's 10,000 families that need to get that.
Right.
And so what we do is we use our scale, which is usually larger than that, because we'll fund several programs.
Yeah.
And then we'll take the data and convince, policymakers to take it to a large scale. So I'll give you a really good short example. We are co-leading the Hasbro Summer Learning Initiative.
Okay.
Kids go backward in the summertime. Right now, kids are losing reading and math skills.
Okay.
And so what we did, we partnered with Hasbro, who became our sponsor, and we talked through with them this model, which is really about engaged learning focused on math and reading skills, mostly reading skills in the summertime. We put up 11 sites around the state, about 1,100 kids.
Wow.
And we studied those kids to see what was happening with their reading and math. And all we wanted to do was hold them where they were. We didn't think we would push them ahead.
Right.
We just didn't want them to lose.
Just want to maintain.
And what happened was we found out that the kids were actually moving ahead in math and reading pre and post test.
What's better than that?
What's better than that? Here's what's better than that. We took the data and we started to call on some of the cities that we were doing the program in, like Central Falls. Central Falls signed an agreement with us that they would do every single kid in their city on their dime, our expertise. So we fund the training and the help. But right now, I don't have actual programmatic grant dollars funneling to Central Falls, because they're picking up the tab. They're going to do every kid in that community by 2020.
That's amazing.
We thought that was great. Pawtucket signed on to do every middle school student. We're talking with other cities about doing the same thing. And so after a while, you get 5, 6, 7, 8 cities, it becomes a widely known best practice. You can turn the whole system for every kid.
So if people wanted to learn more specifically about that, if admins are watching, or even concerned parents, and they want to direct a teacher or a colleague that's in the school department, 211?
Yeah.
Look at that.
One point of entry.
That's it. So 15 years and you're getting ready to retire. I mean, I'm sure it's just a term for you. I'm sure it's not going to be something you're going to really just kick up your feet and drink little umbrella glass drinks on the beach all day.
I think my wife's greatest fear, she said to me at one point, "You're not going to be home all the time, are you?" So I promised her I would not.
Would you, if you'd like to start a web show in your vehicle, I can show you how.
Yeah, no,
it keeps you quite busy.
I don't think that's really going to be it. You're safe. No competition from me.
The World Wide Web is open to everybody. Anybody can hop on in. What do you think over your 15 years there? What do you think is that lasting effort that you guys have made that will project you guys into the next 15 years, and as new leadership comes in and rises through, and you've got an amazing team over there as it is,
yes.
But as you start to, as you look to the future, what is it about the work that you and your administration has done that you think is really going to have the most resonance going forward?
So I think there are probably 2 or 3 things. One was the move to Oneyville. We used to be on the east side, and the east side was great, but it was not a community that had a lot of need. Okay. And so we purposely found a community that needed us more, because we needed for the world to see us as part of the solution.
Sure.
And so we did 2 things at the same time. We moved to Oneyville. Okay. Found this derelict factory that you saw a few minutes ago, renovated it. It's beautiful office space now.
Sure.
And then we opened very shortly thereafter the 211 line. And what we did with 211, not only with the 200,000 calls, we are the only 211 in the country that takes walk-in visitors. And so we have guests, 2,000 people a year, come to the door with a need, and we help them out. And that's a wonderful service, not just to the Oneyville community, but we're on a bus line.
Yep.
So if you can get there, we can probably try to help you. We can't always help every single person who comes in, but you certainly try. And then we added to that a mobile unit. We have this giant RV.
Yes, I've seen that.
Which is 211 on the road. Talk about driving.
That could be your retirement gig. Drive the RV around.
I don't drive anything bigger than this car. That would not be good. Although they do ding it every once in a while.
Well, it's not them. It's the other people.
It's the other people.
Absolutely.
So that sees 36,000 people a year.
Wow.
So those are those 2 things: the move and opening 211. And I think the third thing is probably the culture that we've been able. You mentioned a great team. We work in a way that we empower our workers. We want them to be able to make decisions within certain parameters. We want them to feel like they're owners with us.
Sure.
In this, it's not a top-down. There's a lot of back and forth and discussion. And as a result of that, I mean, not only do you get 11 best places to work, you get a real engagement, especially with younger people who want to come for the learning.
Sure.
And so we try to give them really good senior people so that they can expand their boundaries, try some things, and then have someone to bounce that off of so that they learn and grow and develop. And, I think, sometimes that works out that they move on to much better jobs, but we keep them a lot longer than the average company. So I think the culture at United Way is one of all hands on deck. We don't, I joke about this sometimes because sometimes it's not always good. We don't do anything a little bit.
Okay. Go all the way.
One day we had a turtle crawl out of the Woonasquatucket River.
All right.
I swear to God, in a few minutes we were going to have a turtle committee.
That's it.
With T-shirts and brochures.
Of course.
And finally the turtle got aggravated enough. And she went back into the water. She was like, I can't lay eggs here with you people watching me.
The turtle needs a privacy.
Turtle needs a little privacy.
Absolutely.
And so, but that, it was within minutes, we had 5 or 6 people out there trying to figure out how we're going to help the turtle.
Hey.
And it's just kind of what we do. It's the culture of,
turtles matter too.
Everyone matters. Things matter to us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's amazing. You brought up the point about, you have these younger staff, these fresh out of college or fresh out of high school, however they get in, and just by virtue of working with some amazing people, they learn a lot and they move up. And when they go to other companies, hopefully they're convincing those other companies to get involved in the active giving program and encourage the new employer to get it. And obviously they know where they're going to check if they have the option to do some giving as well. As you retire, and I know a lot of people in the organization have expressed their well wishes to you, what are you really looking forward to doing most about retirement, aside from staying out of the house?
Well, you know, I still plan to work. I probably consult. I'm very interested in leadership development.
Okay.
And working with high potential, you know, young people to meet their career goals. I think I have something to offer there from my years of experience. And then, you know, I'm a guitar player, so I'm going to play guitar more. I'm going to.
There you go.
I'm going to read more, and I practice mindfulness, and I'm going to be doing an awful lot more of that.
Good for you.
So
that's awesome. I promised you no singing. Maybe after a year of retirement, you'll have the guitar skills back where you want them.
Oh no, they're there.
Oh, okay.
I'm only lacking one thing.
Oh, what's that?
The contract.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
well, if that's the case, then
There's not going to be any freebies.
would you like to share your experience? Perhaps we've got a talent scout out there looking to fill.
Maybe next time.
All right, we'll work on that. Tony, congratulations
Thanks
on
very
all your
much.
successes, and folks, learn more about the United Way Rhode Island. Go visit them online. Go visit their website. You find the links right in the description of today's episode. And more importantly, throw Tony some suggestions on what he can do in retirement in the comments below, and we'll share those with him, just in case you run out of things.
Good. Always good.
More importantly, we'll share them with your wife.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea.